Never be afraid of failure. And don't stop yourself from doing something you want to do because of what others might think. Only you know yourself best. You never know yourself till you know more than your body. To be a great artist, you need to know yourself as best as you possibly can. I live my life and delve into my own psyche. It's more about exploring how I feel rather than making pale imitations of something that came before. We are unique beings, and the way we look at things is our own. Know yourself. Keep your circle tight. Keep your friends and your work circle tight. When you die, others who think they know you will concoct things about you. Better pick up a pen and write it yourself, for you know yourself best. Everyone should know yourself. It can be an insult, but know yourself is just it. It's exactly what it sounds like. To become a good cook is to know yourself, and I, at this point, know myself. I know myself, and I know the cook I want to be and the cook I am striving to be. You know yourself. Once you've had the excitement of riding thoroughbreds, it's not very interesting riding anything else. But I still love horses, I just don't have one anymore. Know yourself. Don't accept your dog's admiration as conclusive evidence that you are wonderful. Know your enemy and know yourself, and you can fight 100 battles without disaster. The way you get to know yourself is by the expressions on other people's faces, because that's the only thing that you can see, unless you carry a mirror about. If you spend the first 30 years of your life only trying to look good, you're not going to know yourself very well. If you got it, flaunt it. You've got all these books on self-help, getting to know yourself, doing the right thing, eating the so-called right foods, even down to what books you have on your shelves. People are encouraged to look to themselves first as opposed to being a part of society. Being 21 years old is not easy in the sense that you're still trying to get to know yourself. We have to program the mind of the public that age is not ugly. Age is just age. Wake up, American children, and stop listening to other people's voices. Know yourself, be true to yourself and make a contribution. It took me half my life to know myself. I listened to other people's opinions and took them as gospel. There is no substitute for accurate knowledge. Know yourself, know your business, know your men. Intimacy seems to be one of the major highs of life, whether it's getting to know yourself in a deeper way, or your partner, or the world and the society that you live in. Parkour is really a practice of getting to know yourself, what you're able to do, what are your limits. As you train, you start knowing what you can do. You just have to know yourself well enough to know what's important. And when you do that, things just don't get in your way. You don't allow them to. It's not too much fun to know yourself too well or think you do. Everyone needs a little conceit to carry them through past the falls. Don't get discouraged with your skin when it doesn't do what you want it to do. Give it some time. That's the only way to get to know yourself. Once you really know yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing about you. Do not know yourself. I want to continue to surprise me. At the end of the day, you know yourself best. The older you are, the wiser you are. The more comfortable you are in your own skin, the more you know yourself, the more patient you are. I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. By the time you're 18, 19, you know yourself, and you shouldn't go against your gut feeling, which is a temptation in the first year of university. I've always thrown myself into different kinds of experiences, sometimes into really bad things. But, you grow up, you become more of a woman and you know yourself. I think knowing yourself is a wonderful thing, especially when you're in your 40s and you're kind of in your skin. Life is not so confusing anymore. Know yourself to improve yourself. Trust your gut. You know yourself, so don't let somebody else tell you who you are. The better you know yourself, the better your relationship with the rest of the world. Really, when you take a step back and you really know yourself, you're able to make better decisions. I don't think anybody should get married before they're 30. You're too young to really know yourself. Today is the day to break free from the prison of the person you know yourself to be and step into a self you have yet to know. Will it be comfortable? No, but do it anyway. What I try to focus on is not to try to stop the march of technological progress. Instead, I try to run faster. If Amazon knows you better than you know yourself, then the game is up. If you really want to know yourself, start by writing a book. As the years go by, you get to know yourself better and learn what works for you. The question of whether or not there is a God or truth or reality or whatever you like to call it, can never be answered by books, by priests, philosophers or saviors. Nobody and nothing can answer the question but you yourself, and that is why you must know yourself. Immaturity lies only in total ignorance of self. Only as you do know yourself can your brain serve you as a sharp and efficient tool. Know your own failings, passions, and prejudices so you can separate them from what you see. I've spent a lot of time self-reflecting. Especially as an actor, you have to know yourself really well in order to do things effectively. And when I dress for me. I don't dress to make other people think that I'm this way or that way. When you're an actor in grade school, high school, college, whatever, you start to realize what you're really good at, what you're kinda good at, what you're okay at, and you start to compartmentalize. But if you know yourself and what you're capable of, it's just a matter of opportunity. As long as you know yourself and you got good people around you and you passionate about what you do, that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, you go to sleep with the people you love. You wake up with the people you love, and you spend your time with the people you love. I'm very driven, and I always have been, but when do you prioritize self-care? It's so important because even to attain success, you must take time to slow down and get to know yourself first. The more you know yourself, the more patience you have for what you see in others. In America, when I first came here, they were used to wearing more makeup, thicker foundation, more Max Factor, that sort of thing. But you have to know who you are and what you look like. If you know yourself a little bit, you don't need to follow trends. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and you know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. If you know heaven and you know earth, you may make your victory complete. Why are people afraid of getting older? You feel wiser. You feel more mature. You feel like you know yourself better. You would trade that for softer skin? Not me. Sometimes, taking a job is like going to a shrink or something, where you get to know yourself better. The tricky thing becomes, do you know yourself well enough to then portray that on screen? And for me, I find that really hard. I'd rather hide behind accents and funny walks. I don't know if there is a lack of good black men, but when you haven't taken the time to get to know yourself, be okay with you, and articulate what it is you want in a relationship, then you can't possibly find that person for you because you don't even know what you're looking for. I just want to remind people that you know yourself better than anybody else, and if you don't believe in yourself, then who will? Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.